their misery not as a tragedy to be averted, but as a resource to be exploited. In their eyes, she had traded places with the Greens, becoming the very thing she had fought against. The gold she hoarded in the Red Keep's vaults felt less like the rightful property of a queen and more like a stolen hoard, paid for with the last morsels of bread and the last drops of the people's meager hope. And as the city festered in its misery, a mad prophet rose from the slums of Flea Bottom. They called him the Shepherd, a beggar with a crippled leg and a fiery tongue. He spoke not of politics or kings, but of sin and prophecy. He told the people that the dragons, once revered as gods, were not divine saviors, but demons. They were the cause of the fire and the famine, the harbingers of all their misery. The people, desperate and disillusioned, clung to his words like a dying man to a promise of heaven. His madness became their truth. And when news of the deaths of Rhaenyra's sons, of her lost kin, reached the city, it was proof. The gods were angry, the dragons were cursed. The whispers turned to shouts, the shouts to a roar, and soon, a tide of pure, unadulterated madness surged through the city's streets. They rose up, a sea of ragged clothes and desperate eyes. With nothing to lose, they marched on the one thing that had come to symbolize their suffering: the Dragonpit, the lair of the demons. They came with torches and pitchforks, with bows and with axes, a righteous mob of thousands. The Dragonpit, an ancient dome of stone, was meant to be a fortress, a symbol of Targaryen power. It became their tomb. The dragons within, bound by chains and surprised by the sudden, mindless fury of the crowd, fought back. There was fire and screaming, the roar of beasts and the roar of men. In the chaos, for dragons fell to the mob's fury. But the true tragedy was yet to come. Her son, Prince Joffrey, desperate to save his mother's dragon, tried to ride his own to the fight. But the chains held him, and he fell from the skies, a boy with the heart of a prince, who died a broken mess on the ground below. The mob had their victory, a final, horrifying triumph. And as Rhaenyra watched from the ramparts of Maegor's Holdfast, she saw her reign crumble to ash. The people had become her enemy. Her son was dead, and the last of her great dragons was gone. She was a queen without a crown, without a dragon, without a people. She fled the city she had won, a solitary figure now, haunted by the vengeful ghosts of a throne she had never truly held. The glorious victory had become a bitter defeat, and the rightful queen had become nothing more than a lonely shadow.